He's accused of killing a mother of 4 and stuffing her into a garbage barrel. You'll see the arraignment of Goldburn Easy Glenn Adolphus. And street figure Big Tom. He'd escaped death many times before. So what made him get caught yesterday? We'll have that and examine his legacy. Also, the Belkin Bridge project, strange in so many ways. Tonight we're looking up close at the genesis of the project, how it got from the Ministry of Agriculture Infrastructure Development to City Hall. Plus, the country's first island and village referendum happens tomorrow. You'll hear what's at stake. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight, Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indira Craig.
This newscast is brought to you by Cellular World, your authorized Samsung distributor.
Years ago, the stage went dark for Shine Barrow.
Shine Jamal Barrow is back in Belize.
But he never wanted to be here.
I don't want to be in Belize. Grant me a visa. Being a parliamentarian was not my ambition in life. I could very well be a billionaire right now. I could have very well sold hundreds of millions of records more.
So he used us, first to get a diplomatic visa, so he could film a multi-million-dollar vanity project about his own greatness. We saw where his priorities were.
In the middle of the campaign season, Barrow flew out of the country en route to New York City.
He never cared about us. And now that they've let him back in,
We are going to do 2 more albums because we have a TV series coming out.
so that's what it was all about. That's why he's held our opposition hostage, why he's given more power to the most despotic government in Belize's history, and why we as a nation have no hope for the future. So now, Shine, you've gotten what you've always wanted.
Hello, babes. New York City.
It's time you do the honorable thing and step down.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Honey, 8 October 2025, voters of Key Cocker Village in the Belize Rural South Electoral Division will have an opportunity to be a part of history by voting in a referendum. It is your decision and choice to vote. Exercise it. Let your decision be your choice. Disabled, elderly, and pregnant women will be given priority. The voter enters the polling station and shows her voter identification card. The poll clerk announces her name in an audible voice. The first poll clerk verifies the particulars of the voter on the voters list, while the second poll clerk verifies the particulars in the electoral binder. The voter's name is then ruled off from the voters list. The voter is then required to show her right index finger to ensure that she has not yet voted. The voter's right finger is then dipped up to the first joint in the indelible ink. The voter is then directed to the presiding officer, who initials the ballot paper and issues it to the voter. The voter then proceeds to the polling booth and marks a cross in the box of her choice on the right-hand side of the ballot paper. When the voter has marked her vote, she folds the ballot paper so as to conceal the vote, shows the presiding officer her initials, and then places the ballot paper inside the ballot box. The voter then exits the polling station. Remember, you are permitted to vote for a yes or no choice only. Electors are encouraged to take along their voter identification card to their polling station to facilitate the process. Your ballot paper will be considered void and not counted if it does not have the presiding officer's initial, the voter has voted for more than one choice, the ballot paper is not marked for any choice, the ballot paper contains any writing or marking that can identify the voter, and the ballot paper is unmarked or void for uncertainty. Let your choice be your voice. A message brought to you by the Election and Boundaries Department.
Look here, your kitchen light there and you've been in the kitchen.
But I'm going back in there right now.
And the coffee maker?
Just to try keep my coffee warm for later.
Where do you know?
I'll try to think about what to eat.
You know the more you open and close the fridge, it takes longer for the food cool.
Uh-huh.
For a hot day like today, it burns more energy. You charge your phone right now?
No.
Plug it out then. You really only wash 2 Lee socks and 1 Lee shirt? You don't know what small load burn the same amount of electricity as large loads?
But this is my favorite shirt.
You have to be more energy efficient. Use large loads. This AC, they blow hard. You know, if you keep the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius or higher, you burn less energy and you also keep the place cool. And for a nice day like today, turn off the AC, open up the house and make some fresh breeze come in.
You know what? I think I get it now. As consumers, we need to be more energy efficient and practice energy conservation.
When working with sheetrock, you need screws that give you quick penetration for a speedy, stable installation. Best Screws, fast frame and fast finish drywall screws are specifically designed for you. Engineered by Best Manufacturing, Best Screws makes every job faster and easier. These screws offer reliable performance with a superior hold. You also save money due to Best Screws affordability. They are cheaper than the leading brands. Get the job done quickly without compromising on strength. For all your drywall installations, get Best Screws Fast Frame and Fast Finish. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Yes, Yesterday, we told you that Goldburn Adolphus, a.k.a. Easy Glenn, was arrested and charged for the murder of Chanel Farber, a mother of 4. Adolphus is accused of killing Farber, stuffing her body into a garbage barrel and carting it a few hundred feet and leaving it there, presumably to be collected by sanitation workers, which was all picked up on a nearby surveillance camera. He reportedly told police that others killed her and he only disposed of the body. 55-year-old Adolphus, who is a well-known street character in Belize, went to court with a reflective vest over his head to hide his identity and flipped the bird to our court reporter when he was put into the prison van. He was arraigned before Magistrate Manon Dennison, who remanded him to the Belize City Prison until November 27th. The murder of Kenneth Big Tom Flowers shocked the city yesterday evening. He was a major gang figure in the early 2000s who, over the years, had survived many attempts on his life in both Belize and the U.S. But yesterday, he was caught off guard, allegedly coming to the rescue of a lady friend who was in a dispute with a male companion. Tonight, that male companion is in police detention pending a murder charge. But Big Tom's family can only mourn. Domari Lanza spoke to them today.
At around 5:35 p.m. yesterday, 47-year-old Kenneth Big Tom Flowers was driving a Chevy Equinox not far from his home. But when approaching the corner of Mopan and Mahogany Street, someone fired several shots at him. Injured, Flowers raced off down Mahogany Street into City Street, where he crashed into another vehicle and collapsed. He was then rushed to the KHMH, where he was pronounced dead shortly after. Today, police were in the area looking for surveillance video of the incident. Flowers, a former gang leader who had survived many attempts on his life, was reportedly shot by a man who was competing with Flowers for a woman's affection. Flowers was no stranger to police, but in recent years had styled himself as a kind of community leader and elder who had survived the streets and was trying to lead gang youths away from a life of crime. Just under 2 months ago, he did an interview with the media at the 13th Amendment consultation.
I'm a victim towards it, you know what I mean? I'm a person who spent a lot of state of emergency in a jail for just being on the streets.
You understand? I never committed a crime. I used to do drugs and things, you know what I mean? So I used to get picked up a lot. But by the end of the day, I was just fighting my own self, going through my own problem, but I get victimized by my past. You understand? So that keep me go to jail whenever they have state of emergency when I never even committed a crime. So now I am against it because a lot of children who are not involved in a crime want they in a jail, you understand? Yeah, man. So by the end of the day, I think they should make better decisions because in a country like this, all of us are failing. Crime have consequence, but human have rights. So every time you punish someone for the crime, they get punished for their own human rights when they reach a prison because the prison don't treat you no type of way as a human.
Flowers was always open and blunt about his criminal past and background. But that did not stop him from actively seeking a change in his life and promoting peace among those around him.
Stay so positive. Stay away from negative. You understand? Sorry for the children who get hurt out there and the people where they get hurt, man. You know what I mean? I can't do nothing to stop that. You understand? I cry all day, I cry a long time. Try to write, try speak right, try talk right to the people that are wrong, to the community, to the neighbors, to the family. Because the family sometimes don't have no sense.
He also had a music studio where he recorded positive music for his community. And that's why after all these changes, his sudden loss has shaken his family, who looked to him for guidance and advice.
For me, my brother was the only father figure I really know, you know. For my entire family, we take it real hard. We take it real hard. For the entire community, that's a whole huge of a loss. Almost the whole country to cry from the outpour of love he get. So you see how huge. As siblings, we go through our ups and downs, but nevertheless, I love my brother dearly. I always say that I feel like he helped save me, you know. When I was young, I always tell a story. I was given trouble at a tender age, and he stoned up his studio, and he not tell me, Brittany, get in at the studio, try to do something positive. From the age of 13, I developed a love for music because of him. I remember I feel like he used to hard on me out of all the artists he had. I felt like his critiques, at the time I felt like he took any little thing to try crucify me, but when, in 2020, when he had had his shortcomings, I realized in that moment, because that was when I become Britney Star, he prepared me for that.
Brittany admits that her brother played a role in the development of her music career. But aside from being a mentor to her, she says that she wants to remember him for the big brother that he was.
Let me just say this. Yesterday, I was at the hospital when I heard everything, and I was one who didn't go to see him. I didn't want to remember him like that. I want to remember the puppet show he was, the clown. Even when he's upset, I want to remember him as that person, not somebody with a scar or a bullet anywhere, or blood running down his face. I didn't want to see him like that.
Jomari Lanza, 7 News.
The Special Patrol Unit responded quickly and caught the man who shot Flowers and also got the alleged murder weapon. He could be arraigned tomorrow and will be there if he is. Last week, we interviewed Jareem Staines' family. He's the gang figure known as 32, who has been wanted by police. They say he is at the center of much of the gang violence in the Martins area of Belize City. His family has said that he's actually the target of violence, yet police are treating him as the perpetrator. Well, today the police did get him, and he was charged for a minor offense, that of breaking the curfew regulations of his current bail. They say that he is required to be inside his home between 8 p.m. and 5 a.m. until his case is concluded, and that he willfully neglected that obligation without reasonable cause. Stain pleaded not guilty and told the court that police keep checking for him in the wrong house of his family yard. Police had no objection to bail, and it was offered in the sum of $1,000, which he met. Since he was targeted by gunmen the last time he left court, he was escorted from the courthouse today in a police patrol vehicle. The Belcon Bridge. It will be the first time that a municipality is building a bridge, and especially one of the busiest ones in the country. Tonight, we'll look at the Belcon Project's long, strange ride from MIDH to City Hall. Don't go away.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
When working with sheetrock, you need screws that give you quick penetration for a speedy, stable installation. Best Screws, fast frame and fast finish drywall screws are specifically designed for you. Engineered by Best Manufacturing, Best Screws makes every job faster and easier. These screws offer reliable performance with a superior hold. You also save money due to Best Screws affordability. They are cheaper than the leading brands. Get the job done quickly without compromising on strength. For all your drywall installations, get Best Screws Fast Frame and Fast Finish. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
A hurricane can turn everyday objects into dangerous projectiles. Secure loose outdoor items like furniture and grills. Board up windows and trim trees around your house. These simple steps can significantly reduce damage during a storm. Don't wait until the last minute. Be proactive and secure your home today. Remember, it pays to get it right with RFNG Insurance, a Road Group company.
These charter mints aren't from
We're
an
navigating
airplane.
along the coastline.
This morning,
of
the
Northern
2023
Lagoon in the
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Cherie Halsell,
And here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craft.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years.
Look here, your kitchen light there, you never been in the kitchen.
Mama going back in there right now.
And the coffee maker?
Just to try keep me the coffee warm for later.
Where do you know?
I'll try to think more to eat.
You know the more you open or close the fridge, it takes longer for the food cool.
Uh-huh.
For a hot day like today, it burns more energy. You to charge your phone right now?
No.
Plug it out then. You really only wash 2 socks and 1 shirt? You don't know what small load burn the same amount of electricity as large loads?
But this is my favorite shirt.
You have to be more energy efficient. Use large loads. This AC, they blow hard. You know, if you keep the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius or higher, you burn less energy and you also keep the place cool. And for a nice day like today, turn off the AC, open up the house, and make some fresh breeze come in.
You know what? I think I get it now. As consumers, we need to be more energy efficient and practice energy conservation.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sun Up on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your Nation Station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
Years ago, the stage went dark for Shine Barrow.
Shine Jamal Barrow is back in Belize.
But he never wanted to be here.
I don't want to be in Belize. Grant me a visa. Being a parliamentarian was not my ambition in life. I could very well be a billionaire right now. I could have very well sold hundreds of millions of records more.
So he used us, first to get a diplomatic visa, so he could film a multi-million-dollar vanity project about his own greatness. We saw where his priorities were.
In the middle of the campaign season, Barrow flew out of the country en route to New York City.
He never cared about us. And now that they've let him back in,
we are going to do 2 more albums because we have a TV series coming out.
So that's what it was all about. That's why he's held our opposition hostage, why he's given more power to the most despotic government in Belize's history, and why we as a nation have no hope for the future. So now, Shine, you've gotten what you've always wanted.
Hello, babes. New York City.
It's time you do the honorable thing and step down.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Tonight, an August Pine Ridge father of 2 is clinging to life at the KHMH after he was knocked down off his bicycle on Friday evening. It happened inside his village where 37-year-old Ronnie Castellanos was hit by a fuel tanker, with the massive impact injuring him badly to the head and body. Today at the KHMH, his wife and sister told us he has been unresponsive since. They are concerned that the driver who hit him will not be charged.
About 6:15 p.m. on Friday, and when me went to pick him up, he was in a critical condition. Reaching in Orange Walk, they told us he had a trauma in his brain, and he transported him right here in KHMH. And up to now, he is in a very critical condition. Very critical. They will make him today a CT scan to know if he could go under a neck surgery. But if he can't go into a neck surgery, I don't know what would happen.
Has any police contacted you, Reina?
Yes, one, and he have told us nothing from now. The key of this case is Ronnie Castellanos, that he is waiting for Ronnie to wake up. What will happen if he will not wake up? We don't know if he will wake up.
He is not conscious. He is intubated in the ICU. He's unconscious since Friday. He hasn't wake up.
Orange Walk police have found the truck that hit him, and the driver, 53-year-old Roberto Polanco, was detained. A urine sample was obtained and he was served a notice of intended prosecution. Tonight, the family is asking him or the truck's owner of someone to help with covering the costs of the medical imaging he needs for his head injuries.
I have 2 kids.
2 kids with
I don't have no money for the CT scan and nothing. For nothing, I don't have anything of money. I need the help. If the owner of the truck, have a little bit of heart, tan siquiera que nos dé un poquito de ayuda, porque nosotros no tenemos aquí en Mecurí, I don't have family with money that can help me, nobody. Just God with me and the family.
Anyone wanting to help the family can call 616-4747. A lot has happened since we spoke to engineer Roque Matus on Friday about what he alleges is plagiarism of his design for the Belcan Bridge. He claims it was done by a foreign firm who was paid by funders of the project on behalf of City Hall. That is a matter of great and pressing dispute. There are press releases, lawyer letters, and 7 News right in the middle of the mix-up. We'll examine it all, but we start tonight with the first oddity. The long, strong trip that the multi-million-dollar bridge project took from the Ministry of Infrastructure and Development, which builds all nations' bridges, to the Belize City Council, which has never built a single bridge. Jules Vasquez got two quite remarkable interviews with the chief engineer at MIDH and his minister.
The design for the new Belcan Bridge started at the MIDH in 2022.
Under the design and feasibility study for the George Price Highway, we included the two bridges that we thought were important for us to replace, which is the Belcan and also the Belize City Swing Bridge. So we engaged NARCO to do that for us. And during that implementation process, NABCO also engaged M&M Engineering as their sub-consultant for the design of all the bridges.
They came up with this design, which was peer-reviewed by both the MIDH and the CDB, and it proceeded with urgency.
We completed those design and feasibility in 2022 and a little bit into 2023. So at that point in time, because of the urgency of what we saw with Belcan Bridge, so based on that, we got confirmation from the government of Belize that we could proceed with the procurement process for Belcan, right? And that started in 2023. That started in 2023.
But then there was a change. The project went from being locally to foreign funded.
I did not accept the bids from the contractors that provided bids for the Belcan Bridge because we were instructed that we were supposed to terminate that process because alternate funding would have been secured by the Ministry of Economic Development. We were also under the impression that that would terminate our involvement in that project. Reason being is that we were also advised that the implementing agency for that project, for the Belcan, would have been the Belize City Council. Okay? So I was advised that I should provide all documentations in terms of the Belcan Bridge to the Belize City Council. So all those documents were provided to the Belize City Council. Those were provided in PDF format. And those were provided in PDF format because as a chief engineer, I am aware that those documents can be edited. And so I had advised the CEO and the minister or MIDH that we should not provide those in any other format but PDF so that they cannot be edited. Because the design was basically completed and it was useful for it to be implemented in the form that we had received from the consultant. And so we presented those to the Belize City Council. And after that, I think a few weeks after, we were asked to present the AutoCAD files for the drawings. And we as a ministry, MIDH, was very hesitant to provide those AutoCAD files because we knew how powerful that tool is and that those drawings could have been easily edited. And we were also running the risk that the proprietary rights of those drawings could have been affected, right?
And if we give the AutoCAD files, then we put a warning. Once you change it, which you can, once you alter it, which you can, then you have to be responsible for it.
No.
But if you alter somebody's product and use the same product, then at least you have to acknowledge who the author is or who the designer is.
So we inform in writing to the mayor and also inform our minister and CEO in writing as to why we should not give those AutoCAD files. However, thereafter, we were still asked by the Ministry of Economic Development to issue those AutoCAD files to the Belize City Council, which I did. But I did that with a letter indicating our concerns about giving those files to the Belize City Council.
In a release yesterday, the City Council said that the foreign firm hired to supervise the project determined that the design documents sent to them were incomplete, not suitable for construction or supervision, missing important components such as calculation notes, geotechnical and environmental reports, and key structural details needed for design verification and otherwise. The release adds that this is why the Council requested the detailed design drawings, namely the AutoCAD files. The release goes on to say, quote, "Unfortunately, these drawings still did not include calculations, the various reports, and still were missing details and dimensions as requested. They remained, quote, not good for construction or supervision." The foreign firm turned to a local engineer, quote, to secure the additional information, which also included improvements to the design documents. But the MIDH says it had already peer-reviewed the bridge design and was never contacted by the City Council or its consultant.
If they had taken exactly what we received from our consultants that the government paid for and used it in its exact format, there would be no problem. Absolutely no problem, because the bridge was already designed. There was no need to carry out any peer review. I don't think so. There was any need, because we at the project execution unit carried out that peer review during the construction and also during the design and also after the design was completed.
Is it of concern that the government would have paid for a design for the bridge when the bridge was already designed and peer-reviewed by your office?
Yeah, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, yes, I think it's a waste, because honestly, Jules, I've been here for the past 28 years working at the project execution unit, and we have implemented many projects over the past 25 years. And the team of engineers that we have at MIDH are competent enough to review the designs presented by foreigners and also by locals. And I can't understand or perceive as to why another peer review was required. I think if something was in question, maybe they should have come back to the MIDH, because we have competent engineers here that has reviewed many bridges before. And so to pay for another peer review, I'm not sure why that was done. I didn't even know that was undertaken, honestly.
But what is true is that our ministry is, in my humble opinion, the adequate ministry to execute projects of that type, because of the experience that we have, because of the professionalism that we have.
But regardless, it was directed to the City Council, which Moody says he finds, quote, strange and appalling. How unusual is it that the Belcan Bridge, which is on a span of road that, as far as I know, MIDH is responsible for, which is Central American Boulevard, between the two highways, that's the domain of MIDH. How unusual is it that the executing agency would be the City Council, who's not really even in charge of that road and has never overseen the construction of a bridge?
From my personal perspective, I think it's very unusual. Honestly, as I have mentioned, you have been here for 28 years, and for that entire time, it is the Ministry of Works, formerly Ministry of Works, now MIDH, that has implemented all bridge structures in the country, all. There haven't been any structure in the country that has been implemented by any other agency within Belize, none. And so it was very, I would say, strange and appalling to myself for us to be advised that another agency would be the executing agency for the Belcan, especially based on the fact, as you have mentioned, that the Philip Wilson Highway and the George Price Highway, including Central American Boulevard, falls under the jurisdiction of the chief engineer. So, as you said, it's very unique. It's a unique situation, but those instructions were given to the MIDH, and those are what I will follow through with.
We did our job. I have said this in the past. I think you have interviewed me in the past, and we have said it quite clearly. We do what is requested of us. And if the Ministry of Economic Development, in their wisdom, has decided that they want somebody else to implement the project, we don't really have a problem with that.
And despite this controversial and cloudy start, Espat hopes for a happy ending.
Even though it is not a perfect scenario, even though I I'm biased because I believe in the Ministry of Infrastructure Development, but I am part of a government, and if the Ministry of Finance, who decides who will do the project, makes a decision in their wisdom, I will have to respect that. Because, put it this way, Jules, anybody want to build a bridge and put it under their portfolio? They're excited. It's an exciting project. Why would the City Council not want to be a part of it? So, in their inexperience, they are taking on this responsibility, and that's why the errors that you see happening are happening. It's excitement. Maybe the City Council does not have the experience that MIDH have, and maybe that's why some of the initial errors were made. But with the scrutiny that you are putting on and the microscope that they will be under, I can nearly guarantee you that they will have to produce something that is worthy of the Belizean people, and that's the hope.
And while that part of the story takes us up to the project getting to City Hall, from there it was taken over by the City Council's project supervisor, a foreign firm which Roque Matos claims plagiarized his design. They claim otherwise and have threatened Matos with a defamation suit. Who's right and who's wrong? Tomorrow we'll have that part of the story, plus a closer look at City Hall's 3-page press release that says a whole lot but fails to disclose that they contracted through the Taiwanese funders to pay that foreign firm almost $900,000 US for their services. The Belize Home Caregivers Association is attempting to raise awareness on elder abuse that has been occurring between unqualified caregivers and their patients, defenseless seniors, many of whom may have dementia and cannot report them or defend themselves. In a post, the association claims that over 99% of the abuse cases reported to our association involve patients living with Alzheimer's or dementia. That's why we're calling for urgent regulation and higher standards in Belize's home care industry. Caregivers must be properly trained to understand and manage Alzheimer's and dementia with patience, compassion, and skill. The association founder told us that this type of abuse has been happening for years.
Whenever there is a case about an elder abuse, 99% of the time it's Alzheimer's and dementia patient. And a lot of the time the family member are in the US, and it's someone that completely dependent on a live-in or a 24-hour shift caregiver. So I find that dementia and Alzheimer patients are most vulnerable, and they're high on the list of being abused. In a recent post that I did, that case was actually 5 years ago. And the person worked with them for probably 6 or 7 years. And they needed a holiday or a vacation, and they had someone rotate. And they reported that, okay, I came on the shift and this is what I saw. And it was just the person, and it, as you can see, those were all bruises. It wasn't anything that just occurred. We took up the case with NCA and the Labor Department, and the whole process is just so complicated and would require so much up and down that the family and myself decided that, okay, now we truly need to push for regulations. And this was about 5 to 6 years ago.
Ely says that in order to prevent unqualified persons from caring for the elderly and sick, there needs to be some type of regulation. She says that you don't have to obtain a license to be a caregiver, but you do require training.
Up to now, there is no regulation. Actually, it's worse. We're seeing a lot of trainings that are 2 weeks, or persons with certificate of appreciation labeling themselves as caregivers. We're seeing caregiving be used as a job filler, and persons with serious criminal backgrounds are being referred to going to people home, and we're seeing a lot of theft. So anyone can just go anywhere and say, I'm a caregiver, I'm a caregiver, I'm a caregiver, hire me. Can't do anything. And I've noticed that on a list and a database that a site has, well, a page, it's troubling to me because I recognize someone of the name, and it's people that are blacklisted or not caregivers at all, and they're listed, and it's frightening because it's the same people I've been trying to get rid of. All this would have just been avoided if the system was regulated. So with proper regulation, you won't have caregiver as job fillers, you won't have people forced to perform job just to make numbers, you won't have unqualified people in homes, you will have properly trained people, and there would be less abuse.
We will be following up these claims with the Ministry of Human Development. In the flurry of interview segments with Minister of Home Affairs Karim Musa last night, we missed a big one where he talked about the return of Commissioner Richard Rosado after 22 days on leave. Now, we have demonstrated multiple times how frequently Rosado misspoke at the press conference on August 25th, 3 days after the Budna abduction. But regardless, he has been cleared of wrongdoing. That is according to a cabinet release. We asked Minister Musa about all that.
What do you think of his return and the public perception of it? Is his public credibility undermined?
I don't think it is, Jules. I think you've done an exceptional job, as you always do, in bringing down the minister and bringing down the former commissioner of police, but you struggled in that one. You failed in that one. But we have to understand the critical time that we are living in. And if the police have investigated a matter and have found nothing to implicate or incriminate the commissioner of police, we need certainty right now on the streets of Belize. We need certainty in terms of the directives coming from the Commissioner of Police. And so it was decided at the cabinet level in terms of this initial report coming out of the investigation. There's nothing there. Let us put him back because we need to move forward with other issues that we're facing in terms of the crime and violence in Belize. Now, if it is that the independent investigator or down the road the DPP says, listen, this particular thing has to happen, and somehow it implicates any officer, we will deal with those officers. It has to be done. But at this particular time, there is nothing to implicate him.
But that means the investigation has already made a determinative finding.
It is an interim determinative finding, but if there is subsequent, that's what I'm saying.
But the investigation is closed. If it's already ruled him out, it's closed.
Not, Jules. We saw, I think it was this week, where a murder happened in 2021, and somebody is just charged now. You can't put an end to an investigation. You know, we've only given it, what, a month? And you want there
But you all have exculpated him. The public press release has said he had no involvement. You all have made a declaration on his innocence.
Based on the investigation up to this point. That's what I'm telling you.
But then it's preliminary at best. And that investigation was done by his underling and the Prime Minister's constituent. So how good is that investigation?
That's a lot of speculation there, Jules. A lot of speculation. And I'm not going to go down that road. But I'm telling you that the investigation has not found anything against him. Hence, the reason was made because of the need for certainty within the department that we move forward.
And in other police news, a correction to a story we ran earlier. Our court reporter has clarified that in the case of Jareem 32 Stain, that the police prosecutor did object to bail, but the court went ahead and granted him that bail. This past weekend's accidental bomb detonation in Nuevo San Jose Palmar village in Orange Walk has prompted the BDF to educate and warn the public about the dangers of these bombs, which are not uncommon in Carmelita and other areas. But how long's all this unexploded ordnance been out there, and where did they come from? Defense CEO Francis Usher answered our questions.
Have you all been able to determine if it's British or American or from what force?
Various different forces use the New River training area. We're doing a serial number check with the remaining 2,000-pound bombs. They weren't armed with TNT, but they did also have a spotting charge that thankfully did not go off. Our EOD team has already removed those and safely disarmed them. And we're doing a background check as we do have some information on file regarding most of the bombs that have come in country. I would like to say all the bombs that have come in country, but I don't like to speak in absolutes. At this point, I wouldn't want to speculate or say definitively. It is most likely British, but I wouldn't want to speculate and say for sure that it is.
Those who have explosives and want the BDF hotline, call the Watchkeeper at 610-6037. We'll take our final break, but when we come back, the country's first island and village referendum happens tomorrow. You'll hear what's at stake. Don't go away.
This newscast is brought to you by Cellular World, your authorized Samsung distributor.
I don't want to be a bad guy. I don't want to be a tough guy. I want to get to the point in life where, I couldn't hurt a fly.
And he did. Kind of. Here we see Shine Barrow taking it like a man. A professional slap recipient. He turns the other cheek. But when his wife wants to visit her family,
Shine Barrow reportedly stomped his wife Catherine in the back.
The medical legal form doesn't lie. Miss Catherine Barrow went to the police, got a medical legal form. The doctor certified it as harm.
when a man slaps him, he can't fight back. But when it comes to his wife, suddenly he's Mr. Tough Guy.
Bad
Shine Barrow. Can you really call yourself a man? You let another man slap you, but you can't handle your wife visiting her family? It's time for you to grow up.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
On the 15th of August, Kefan's pawn shop was burglarized in an aggravated burglary. The robbers made off with just about $500,000 in cash and jewelry. The store is owned by the Usher family, and since then, ex-cop Daryl Tootsie Usher has figured out who was behind it and passed the information into police. But he claims that every time they follow up with police, they have not made any progress in the case, and now their lives are being threatened. Daryl Usher told us more about the dangerous dilemma yesterday.
The matter was reported to the police. Upon my arrival, like a week later, we got certain information, we passed it to the police. At that time, they acted upon it, which was like minor, just little information. However, after I began to do my own investigation into the matter, I gathered a lot of information. I forwarded it to the police officer in charge of the case, a corporal, but the work on the case had basically went dormant to some sense, because then although we were passing information, we're not getting any feedback. And it reached a point that I literally found out everyone who was involved in the burglary directly. I passed the information to them. As a result, as I said, slow movement. So it reached one point that I actually went to the Queen Street police station and complained about it. Due to my persistence in the matter then, right, that I'm literally getting death threats towards my life, towards my brother's life, towards my common law, and even to the extent now that I'm hearing towards my father, right? So, but at the same time I cannot just stand idle by and watch that my brother's hard work for all the years then in his business just go down to drain like that. Yeah. That's why we're pressing the police department and asking them to assist to give the corporal another 2 men beside his regular team he's working with, so that they could follow up the case fully.
Usher says he is begging the police to intervene and make arrests before the threat level escalates. Tomorrow, just under 1,500 eligible voters on the island of Caye Caulker will be able to vote on whether they want to legalize marijuana in their village. The question voters will see on the ballot says, should the government of Belize pass legislation to create a responsible, regulated and taxable legal cannabis industry on the island of Kikaka, with a portion of the revenue going directly for the benefit of Kikaka and its residents. Yesterday, the man who first framed that question and is the driving force behind that referendum held a press conference with the Minister of New Growth Industries at his side. Jules Vasquez was there.
Inside the Ochuna restaurants, proponents of tomorrow's marijuana referendum gathered yesterday with the Minister of New Growth Industries for a press conference. The head table even included a doctor's endorsement.
Quite simply, there is a place for medical cannabis from a scientific point of view.
The cannabis crusader-in-chief is village councillor Ilya Rosado. He says this is about more money for his community.
We receive $5,000 a month from the government. It used to be $4,000. We just managed to lobby for $5,000. Our staff payroll is between $6,000 to $7,000 a week. So the maths are not mathing. So we need more revenue. Kikaka, if we are going to do this, if the people are going to make this choice, then they deserve at least 50% of the revenue. This revenue will then be directed directly back into education, infrastructure, healthcare. For many people, this is controversial. For me, it's a simple economic issue where I see people who work in the best resorts or some of the best resorts in the country go back home to no electricity, no water, and I'm supposed to be responsible for these people. I need to be able to find new solutions because the solutions that we have right now are clearly not working.
And the solution he proposes is a cash industry where his village gets 50% of the proceeds off the top.
So with a cash-only industry, we have the ability to make sure that we take this cash, get our share, then share with the government 50-50.
Have all the steps been thought through of the complications that arise when you're dealing only in cash, including banking de-risking?
Yeah, so a very good question, Jules. When it comes to security, and as you will notice from the original legislation in 2022, there are actually security licenses. But in addition to security licenses for cannabis facilities, there are also requirements across the world in terms of how you set up your facilities with cameras, with fence, everything that offers the best protection. Because if you look at Belize Bank is on the island, they have cash inside the bank. Far more cash than a cannabis facility might have. And so if a bank can have cash, why cannot a facility? So it has to have, at a minimum, the same security as a bank, but even better when I said camera systems in terms of high fences, that sort of thing.
And while that would be a first, so would the idea of a law enforcement policy for a single village.
And I know a lot of people are saying, but how can you just have cannabis on Kikaka? Shouldn't that be a national law? Well, the simple answer to that question is every day we pass laws in this country, specialized pieces of legislation that are called carve-outs. Whether it is the Norwegian island in the south, the Harvest Key Act, whether it is the Free Zone Act, whether it is designated processing areas, or EPZs as they were known, whether it's protected areas that we are protecting, there are carve-outs in the legislation every day. And so what this would mean then is that it has to pass firstly Cabinet, and thereafter the House of Representatives, and thereafter the Senate. And what would that mean? That would mean the entire country continues with 10 grams legal, but the island of Kikaka would have a cultivation facility, and it would have a dispensary, and it would have an area for restaurant licenses. It would have regulations that would be solely for Kikaka until we go national. And so it's a similar type thing as you have in the United States, where states have legalized it. The only difference in Belize is it will require the House of Representatives and the Senate to approve
this particular proposition.
It is a long and steep climb, but Wednesday is the first step. And the question is whether Rosaldo's common sense campaign can outdo the fire and brimstone brought out by the other side, the Christian pastors opposing the yes vote.
I have a plan in place, and I do have a budget that I receive from local businesses, and I know I have support. But the thing is that there has been so much stigma that these people don't want to be mentioned. These people don't want to say that they support me. I'm at the point where I feel saddened by that fact that it has been so divisive. My objective is to get the people who support me, some of that being my family and my friends, to mobilize. We call people, we talk to them, I reach out to them personally. And on that day, I will be there for the entire time, making sure that I can either speak to them, I can either appeal to their sense of reason, and whether it's a yes or no, what really matters is that I do my best to educate them. So I do have a small budget to be able to get some carts to move people around. But what I think is more important, given this stigma, is that I can have, and what I've been doing is having one-to-one conversation with them. Hopefully my plan succeeds. I started this, I'm going to see it through till the end, no matter the result.
And while the pot proponents claim their cause to be noble, we asked about the little discussed fact that in a legal marijuana setting, your neighborhood or dealer won't have access to capital to open up a cannabis enterprise.
You all speak very nobly of, the community empowering, but we have to accept also the gentrification of marijuana culture. That once you formalize these systems, the persons who have borne the brunt of the pain of prohibition, of being run down by the police, of being arrested, of being harassed, these persons are the ones who are excluded because a formal system, once you formalize it, it is set up for people who have access to capital and access to cash.
And that is one of the side effects, so to speak, of the illegal trade, of having it for decades long, of the small man, remaining the small man in this industry forever. That is why I say it's an oppressive, archaic, and racist law, because a small man never makes it big in the illegal trade. If he makes it big, it's because he had to strap up with guns. It's because he had to get ready for an all-out war with his competitors. That's the nature of turf war in an illegal trade. The young men on Kikaka, who are the small men, there are higher paying jobs in the illegal cannabis industry. You might say, well, they don't want to work 9 to 5, but who's to say they can't be cutters in the industry? They can't be salesmen in the industry. That's what they are now, they're salesmen. So why they can't work out of a dispensary? And so Kikaka has a very limited population that's actually involved in the illegal trade that's in the shadows, that are willing to come to the light for a better salary.
And while Minister Musa says the law is oppressive, the National Evangelical Association of Belize is calling him out tonight. In a release issued an hour ago, they say, quote, "It is a blatant conflict of interest when the minister responsible for policing and reducing crime is actively promoting the very product, marijuana, which is primarily responsible for gangs and turf wars." The release continues to say, quote, "Huge cash-based industry in the form of drugs is the most attractive feature for cartels, illicit activity, and money laundering. We have been informed that any move to legalize marijuana will threaten to undermine all of that credibility gained, and correspondent banking relationships will be cut off by de-risking." We'll be having live reports from Kikaka all day tomorrow to let you know how it's going. And that's our newscast for tonight. Thanks for watching. With your news, I'm Indra Craig. Remember, you can find a full transcript of the news at 7newsbelize.com and see the streaming video on our Facebook or YouTube pages. Have a pleasant evening. Join me back here tomorrow at 6.